Hello class, for this video, pag-uusapan natin ang chain rule for trigonometric functions. This is a topic in differential calculus. The chain rule versions of the derivatives of the 6 trigonometric functions are shown below. First one, we have the derivative of sine u is equivalent to cosine u, u prime. Second, we have the derivative of tan u is equivalent to secant squared u, u prime. Third, we have the derivative of secant u is equivalent to secant u, tangent u, u prime. Fourth one, we have the derivative of cosine u is equivalent to negative sine u, u prime. Next, we have the derivative of cotangent u is equivalent to negative cosecant squared u, u prime. And last one, we have the derivative of cosecant u is equivalent to negative cosecant u, cotangent u, u prime. So, ibig sabihin dito, class, i-a-apply natin yung ating chain rule sa ating trigonometric function. All we need to do is to differentiate them normally, and then ilalagay natin yung derivative ng ating u, which is our u prime. Kumbaga, we are differentiating a function within our trigonometric function. So, i-apply po natin, class, yung ating mga formulas kanina sa ating mga examples para mas maintindihan natin on how to apply chain rule on our trigonometric functions. First one, we have y is equivalent to sine of 2x. So, as you can observe, class, we have another function within our function because yung ating x is may katabing 2. So, this is another function within our trigonometric function. So, we have our formula kanina. The derivative of our sine u is equivalent to cosine u, u prime. So, yung u po natin dito is equivalent to 2x. Next thing, we will derive our u, that is our u prime, is equivalent to 2. Because if we are deriving x raised to 1, that is equivalent to 1. So, meron na tayong u, meron na din tayong u prime. So, proceed po tayo in differentiating our y, that is equivalent to y prime equals, ang sine po natin is magiging cosine. So, that is cosine of, ang u po natin is i-substitute lang, that is 2x, multiplied by our u prime, which is 2. So, copy-paste natin 2. So, tapos na tayo in differentiating. All we need to do here is to simplify. That is y prime is equivalent to, take note po, bawal po siyang i-multiply sa loob because this is a trigonometric function. So, ang gagawin lang po natin is ilalagay natin siya sa front. That is 2 cosine of 2x. So, tingnan natin kung ma-simplify pa. And I think hindi na. So, this will be our final answer. So, class, pwede din natin siyang i-rewrite to avoid confusion. That is 2 cosine of open parenthesis of 2x close parenthesis para ma-emphasize natin na si 2x is nasa loob ni cosine. So, this is our final answer. So, pwedeng eto, pwede din ganito. For our second example, we have y is equivalent to cosine of open parenthesis of x minus 1 close parenthesis. So, we will be using this formula. We have derivative of cosine u is equivalent to negative of sine u, u prime. First thing that we need to do is to determine yung u natin, which is nasa loob ng ating cosine function, which is our x minus 1. And then, derive natin si u para maging u prime that is equivalent to the derivative of x is 1, the derivative of negative 1 is 0. So, meron na tayong u, meron na din tayong u prime. So, let us proceed in deriving our y, that is y prime, is equivalent to, kalagay dito, cosine u is magiging negative sine u. So, ilagay natin negative, open parenthesis of sine. Then, u po natin is x minus 1. So, ilagay natin open parenthesis, x minus 1. Close parenthesis, close parenthesis. Next thing nakalagay dito is u prime. So, multiply po natin si u prime, which is 1. So, we're done in differentiating. All we need to do is to simplify this one. That is equivalent to negative. I-multiply po natin sa loob. Magiging negative sine of x minus 1. So, etong 1 is i-multiply din natin sa loob. Magiging 1. So, pwede natin siyang tanggalin. So, this will be our final answer. Kasi hindi na siya masisimplify pa. Common mistake, class, is wala siyang open and close parenthesis. For example, negative sine of x minus 1. So if this one is i-compare mo dito, this is not equal. Because ang pag-interpret natin dito is negative sin x and then silang lahat is deducted by 1. So sabi ko kanina, to avoid confusion, mas magandang lagyan mo parati ng open and close parenthesis. So dito, nilagyan talaga natin ng open and close parenthesis para ma-emphasize na si x minus 1 is the function of our sine. Sa first example kasi natin, hindi siya polynomial, ibig sabihin wala siyang operation in between. So, pwede lang tayong walang open and close parenthesis. Pero dito sa ating second example is meron tayong operation. So, if hindi natin lalagyan, ma-misinterpret siya na yung ating negative 1 is hindi kasali sa ating sine function. So, again class, eto lang yung ating final answer. Third example natin is y is equivalent to tangent of 3x. First thing that we need to do is to determine yung u natin, which is nasa loob ng ating tangent, which is si 3x. Next class, ang gagawin natin is to derive our u, which is our u prime. The derivative of 3x is simply 3. So we will be using this formula. The derivative of tangent u is equivalent to secant squared u prime. So, derive lang natin siya. That is y prime is equivalent to tan u natin is magiging secant squared of our u, which is our u is 3x. Lagyan natin 3x. Pagkatapos, meron tayong open and close parenthesis multiplied by our u prime, which is 3. So, we're done in differentiating. All we need to do is to simplify. So, take note class, bawal po siyang i-multiply sa loob. Because we are dealing with trigonometric functions, so dapat ilalagay lang natin siya sa may unahan. So, eto is magiging 3 secant squared of 3x. And this will be our final answer. So, take note class, hindi ko na nilagyan ng open and close parentheses kasi wala naman din siyang operation sa gitna. But again class, to avoid mistakes, pwede nating sanayin yung ating sarili na lalagyan talaga natin ng open and close parenthesis yung nasa loob ni trigonometric function. So eto, pwede din siya na final answer. Letter D, or our fourth example, we have the function of x is equivalent to open parenthesis of cosecant 5x close parenthesis plus 5. So ibig sabihin class, nakaseparate sila, so we will be using sum and difference rule. Ibig sabihin, we just need to differentiate them individually. So for our first part, gagamit po tayo ng formula which is the derivative of cosecant u is equivalent to negative open parenthesis of cosecant u cotangent u close parenthesis u prime. So first thing that we need to do is to identify our u that is equivalent to yung nasa loob ng ating cosecant function which is 5x. Next class, the derivative of our u is equivalent to 5. So proceed po tayo sa first part which is the derivative of our cosecant 5x. We have f prime of x is equivalent to the derivative of cosecant 5x is equivalent to negative open parenthesis of cosecant of u. Ang u po natin is 5x. Lagay natin. Cotangent of u. So u po natin is another 5x. Close parenthesis, then yung u prime natin class is 5. So tapos na tayo dito na part, proceed tayo sa second part which is the derivative of our 5. So as we all know, the derivative with respect to x of any constant is equivalent to 0. So this is plus 0. So we're done differentiating. All we need to do is to simplify. So ilagay natin dito, f prime of x is equivalent to, again class, bawal po siyang i-multiply sa loob. So ang gagawin lang natin is ilalagay siya sa front. So ito is magiging negative 5 cosecant of 5x cotangent of 5x. And this will be our final answer. So pansinin niyo, wala na siyang open and close parenthesis. Okay lang siya. But again, to avoid mistakes, pwede din natin siyang ilagay. That is negative 5 cosecant of open parenthesis 5x multiplied by cotangent of open and close parenthesis 5x. So this will also be our final answer. So class, to avoid confusion sa ating open and close parenthesis, here are our examples. First one is y is equivalent to cosine of 3x squared. Second, we have y is equivalent to open parenthesis, cosine of 3, close parenthesis, x squared. Third, we have y is equivalent to cosine, open parenthesis of 3x, close parenthesis, squared. Fourth, we have y is equivalent to cosine squared x. And last one, we have y is equivalent to the square root of cosine of x. So, i-derive natin to lahat, class, and let us determine kung ano yung kanilang pagkaiba-iba. So, lahat ng to, ang gagamitin natin is the derivative of our cosine u is equivalent to negative sine u prime. Let's start with our letter A, that is equivalent to cosine of open parenthesis 3x squared. So, pag ganito, same lang po siya pag may open and close parenthesis yung ating 3x squared. So, yung u po natin dito is yung nasa loob ng ating open and close parenthesis, which is si 3x squared. And then, yung u prime natin is equivalent to 3 multiplied by 2 is 6x. Then, 2 minus 1 is 1. So, 6x raised to 1. So, i-apply na po natin, class, sa ating formula. Y prime is equivalent to negative, open parenthesis. Ang cosine natin is magiging sine. Then, copy-paste po natin si u, that is 3x squared, close parenthesis, then multiplied by our u prime. So, ito yung ating u prime, that is 6x. Last thing that we need to do is simplify. So, again, class, bawal siyang i-multiply sa loob. So, ang gagawin natin is ilalagay lang siya sa front. So, ito is magiging negative 6x sine of 3x squared. And this will be our final answer. So, pwede din, class, na lagyan natin ng open and close parenthesis yung ating 3x squared. That is sine of open parenthesis 3x squared close parenthesis. Final answer. So, how about if nakaseparate siya? Cosine 3, then open and close parenthesis. Tapos, multiplied by x squared. So, analyze natin, class. Si cosine of 3 is a constant kasi wala siyang variable sa loob. So, we will just treat cosine 3 as a constant. Ibig sabihin, we will just differentiate this one using our constant multiple rule. So, recall natin the derivative with respect to x of a constant un is equivalent to constant n un minus 1. So, y prime is equivalent to our constant, which is the cosine of 3, multiplied by our n, which is squared, multiplied by our u, which is our x, then 2 minus 1 is 1. So, rearrange lang natin, class. This is equivalent to 2x cosine of 3. This is our final answer. So, again, bawal siyang i-multiply sa loob kasi si 3 is nasa loob ng ating cosine. So, ito yung ating final answer. So, kumbaga, nilagay lang natin siya sa front. For our letter C, we have cosine of open parenthesis 3x, then close parenthesis squared. So, ang ibig sabihin ng squared natin dito, class, is yung 3x lang yung naka-squared. So, mas maganda if i-rewrite natin that is equivalent to cosine of 3 squared will be 9. Then x is squared, so that is equivalent to x squared. So, cosine of 9x squared is same lang po sa cosine of open parenthesis 9x squared close parenthesis. So, we will be using this formula. The derivative of cosine of u is equivalent to negative of sine u prime. First thing that we need to do is to identify our u, which is equivalent to yung nasa loob, which is si 9x squared. Next one, i-derive natin si u. Magiging u prime is equivalent to 9 multiplied by 2 is 18. And then x, 2 minus 1 is 1, so raised to 1. So, ginamitan lang po natin siya ng constant multiple rule. So, kompleto na tayo, class. We have our u, we have our u prime. So, proceed tayo in differentiating. That is y prime is equivalent to, sundan lang natin to, that is negative. Then, open parenthesis, si cosine is magiging sine u. So, magiging sine of 9x squared. Close parenthesis, yung u prime po natin class is si 18x. So as I have said earlier, bawal po siyang i-multiply sa loob. Ang gagawin lang po natin is ilalagay siya sa front. So that is equivalent to negative 18x sine of 9x squared. This will be our final answer. So para sure, pwede din nalalagyan natin ng open and close parenthesis yung ating 9x squared. So lagyan natin sine of open parenthesis of 9x squared close parenthesis. Final answer. So para sa akin, okay lang to, okay lang din to. Proceed po tayo sa ating letter D, that is y equals cosine of squared x. So ibig sabihin po class, pag meron tayong squared sa gitna, that is just equivalent to open parenthesis of cosine x close parenthesis squared. Ibig sabihin, pag may squared tayo sa gitna, silang lahat is squared. So as per observation, ang gagamitin po natin dito is chain rule na constant multiple rule. Ibig sabihin, yung ating formula ng constant multiple rule, dadagdagan lang po natin ng u prime because we are differentiating a function within a function. So identify po natin first what is our c, that is blanco kasi wala po tayong constant sa front, which is yung merong exponent, that is cosine of x. Proceed po tayo sa ating u prime, which is the derivative of our u. So as we all know, the derivative with respect to x of our cosine of x is equivalent to negative sine of x. So ibig sabihin, the derivative of our cosine of x is negative sine of x. Last one po is yung ating exponent, which is n, that is equivalent to 2. Kompleto na po tayo. Meron na tayong constant, u prime, and n. Let's proceed in differentiating, that is equivalent to. Sundan lang po natin yung formula. Constant is wala. N po natin is 2. U po natin is cosine of x. And then n po natin is 2 minus 1 is 1. Then u prime po natin is negative sine of x. Take note po, naka-open and close parenthesis sila. So ibig sabihin, i-multiply natin silang lahat. So that is equivalent to, meron tayong 2, meron tayong negative. So ilalagay lang po natin sa front si negative. Magiging negative 2 cosine of x, sine of x. And this will be our final answer. Pwede din siyang baliktad. We have negative 2 sine of x and cosine of x. That is just the same. So sulat natin, that is equivalent to negative 2 sine of x multiplied by cosine of x. So same lang po siya. Last example po natin, class, is y is equivalent to the square root of our cosine of x. So we cannot differentiate this immediately. We need to rewrite this one. That is equivalent to, open parenthesis, cosine of x, then raised to the power of 1/2. Because as we all know, eto po is naka-power of 1. Square root po natin is 2. So we will be using nth root of x raised to m is equivalent po ng ating x raised to m divided by n. So, nirewrite lang natin siya, class, and proceed po tayo in differentiating. Analyze po natin, ang gagamitin natin dito is chain rule na constant multiple rule, which is this one. So, identify natin, constant po natin is wala, kasi wala tayong constant sa front. Next one po natin is yung ating u, which is yung merong exponent, which is si cosine of x. Proceed po tayo sa ating u prime, which is the derivative of cosine x. Nasulat na natin kanina, which is negative sine x. Last thing is our exponent, which is n. That is equivalent to 1/2. So, kompleto na tayo, class. We have our constant, u prime, and our n. So, proceed po tayo sa differentiating. Y prime is equivalent to, constant natin is wala. N po natin is 1/2. U po natin, class, is cosine of x. And then, exponent natin is 1/2. Minus 1 is negative 1/2. Pwede mo ding i-calculator para sure. And last thing is yung ating u prime, which is negative sine of x. So, tapos na tayo in differentiating. Last thing that we need to do is simplify. So, ilagay natin dito yung negative. I-transfer lang natin sa front. Magiging negative 1/2 of cosine of x raised to the power of negative 1/2 multiplied by sine x. So, pag final answer, dapat walang exponent na negative. So, ita-transfer lang natin siya sa baba. So, in transferring class, always remember that x raised to negative m is equivalent to 1 over x raised to the power of m. So, transfer natin siya class, magiging negative. Sine x na lang yung matitira sa itaas. That is sine x divided by our cosine of x, then raised to the power of positive 1/2. And then class, wag kalimutan si 2, that is 2. So adjust lang po natin. So as per observation, meron tayong radical sa baba. So para sa akin, okay lang na may radical sa baba. So this is our final answer. So class, if wala to sa ating choices, you just need to rationalize. Pero para sa akin, okay na to na final answer. So that ends our topic for this video, class. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you like videos like this. Thank you for listening and see you again sa ating other videos.